welcome to the show. I'm Tosh Taylor.
And I'm Jenna Morton, and we are thrilled to have you joining us again, and we are thrilled to have two guests in the studio with us today. And I'm going to make a promise, I'm not going to sing. How about you?
Not a chance.
Our guests, however, are very well known to some of you in the singing community and the Greater Moncton community in general. Melody Dobson, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And you have brought with you Anita. Welcome.
Thank you.
You are known in the community as someone who is very involved with music. I have heard your name since I moved here, and this is the first time we've actually met. So I'm very glad to finally get to meet you in person and get to have everyone learn a little bit about the Greater Moncton Chorale, as well as some of the other groups you're involved with.
Well, thank you, Jenna. And, I hope what you've heard is all good.
Yes, yes. So I mentioned the Greater Moncton Chorale, which is one of the many musical groups that you're involved with. Can you let Tosh and our listeners and viewers know a little bit about that group and some of the other groups as well?
Well, actually, I'm going to clarify right there. All of the musical groups that I'm involved with are part of the Greater Moncton Chorale. So the Greater Moncton Chorale started in 1987 as a community choir. And it was formed, by some members of the community and some members of the Central United Church Choir, and so they operated quite nicely. And then I came on the scene in 2004 and became the director, and we remained just an adult community choir until quite recently in 2024. We expanded our programming. So we added a youth choir program, which Anita belongs to, called Voices Rising Youth Choirs. There are 3 choirs in that program. We have a group for the little wee ones. That's brand new this fall, the Chickadees.
Oh, what a lovely name.
Their ages 5 to 7 officially, but we snuck a 4-year-old in there too. Someone's little sister. And then we have a group for grades 3 to 6 called the Junior Singers. And then we have a teen group. We call it, quite simply, the Teen Ensemble. We had another name last year, and we kept getting the groups mixed up. So we're evolving.
Yeah,
Right, Anita? We're evolving.
Yes.
Yes. So that's our youth choir program. And then we also have a program at the Moncton Hospital, which is a pop chorus. It's called Music and Medicine Pop Chorus. And that is also really new. It started in February 2024, and it was started as a wellness initiative for healthcare workers. It's sponsored by the Friends of the Moncton Hospital Foundation, for which we're very grateful. Yes, so these programs exist in addition to the original ensemble, which is, our flagship adult choir, the Greater Moncton Chorale, which currently has 122 members.
Holy.
Yes, and there are 55 and growing in the pop chorus, and another 50 in the youth program. So,
Goodness.
so singing is in demand.
Before we get break it off into learning more about each group, I need you to explain to me what a chorale is. Like, what is? It's not choir. Or is it just a different?
It's a choir. Chorale, actually, you want me to get technical?
I do. Please, yes.
Because on the FAQ section of our website, greatermonctonchorale.ca, folks, I go into that because I get this question a lot.
I bet.
And it's a legitimate question because a chorale sounds very fancy. Of course, that is the French word for a choir, and it is spelled that way.
Okay.
It is spelled exactly like that, Chorala. But in English, it doesn't have any particular meaning except choir. There are different terms for different size choirs. So a choir in general is just a group of people singing together. It technically is supposed to be more than 10 people.
Wow, okay.
That makes a choir. Anything smaller than that, and you're talking about an ensemble. But then there is a chamber choir, which can be up to 36 people. And then there's a chorus, which is around 60 people or more. So our adult choir, the original flagship group, is now called the GMC Adult Chorus.
Okay.
But chorale is pretty
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Yeah.
The French have pretty locked down, but there's another meaning. Sorry, not to get so boring and technical.
No, not at all. This is great.
fascinating.
Yeah.
But there's another meaning for the word chorale, and it's a really niche thing. In some of Bach's works, there's this genre called a chorale, which is just a 4-part liturgical thing. You know, it comes from the church tradition, and it existed during Bach's time when he was writing. So most people have heard of Johann Sebastian Bach, but nobody would know that a chorale is a format he used in some of his works. And also, it has no relevance to our name.
But it sounds cool. Yeah.
Doesn't it, though?
And someday at trivia, that's going to win you
Yes.
a prize.
True.
Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you.
I had no idea there were so many people involved in the groups. I knew that it was growing again in popularity since the pandemic, since you've been able to perform again. But those numbers are amazing.
Oh, we can't keep up with the demand. Honestly, we launched a website just over a year ago, and normally it takes a while for things to pick up speed. I get submissions from that website every single day, with people wanting. We actually had to close off registration for the adult choir, the original ensemble, the GMC chorus, end of August.
Holy.
Yeah, I put out the notification that we were registering for the choir on the 19th of August, and 1 week later, 6 days actually later, I had to close registration and open a waiting list. And we had like 2 more days, and the waiting list was so full. I went, where are we going to put everybody?
Oh my gosh.
So for our Christmas concerts in December, we're actually going to have to divide up the choir into 2 groups because we can't fit them into the largest space for choirs, which is Central United Church.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's fun. There's an amazing energy. Wow. So many people that want to sing. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of people who want to sing, Anita, how did you come to decide that you wanted to join the singing group?
Well, at first, my friends' parents are in the adult choir, and they're like, well, you should sing too. And I've actually always enjoyed singing, and I've been getting involved with choir since I was in elementary school. And so I joined, and I really enjoyed it. We sing different songs in different language, and we also learn the backstory of every song. So it's not only about singing, it's also about getting diverse, know different culture. So I really enjoy the process. It's really fun.
We enjoy you.
That's for sure. And do you find, you told us before we started on mic that you've only lived in Moncton for just over a year. So did you find it was a great way for you to meet new friends outside of your school as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. I met new friends, and like we talk about singing, like different, maybe like tips for singing, and we talk about the songs we like and everything. Yeah,
Awesome.
for sure.
Yeah, there's lots of jibber jabber in this.
But I think that's one of the things that's really special about singing groups is the way it brings people together in the community that you create.
Yeah, I can't think of another activity that is able to bring together so many diverse people, also of different ages. A couple of the boys that have aged out of our teen ensemble because their voices have changed, but they're still youth, they're high school students, decided to jump into the tenor section of our adult choir this year. And everyone just loves having these really young guys there. They're 14 and 15 years old. And my parents, who are in their 80s, just stopped singing with the choir this past year for personal reasons. And we have lots of people in between. So it's a super fun way to bring together family and friends and to meet new people.
Talk a little bit about the types of music people would hear if they come to one of your performances, because I think some people may have a certain sound in their head when they hear choral music. They maybe are familiar with some of the programs that have been on radio over the years, and other people may have no concept of what kind of singing is this.
Well, as Anita can attest to, it's hard to pin it down. The genre of choral music is basically every genre that exists except maybe for headbanger stuff. That I'll draw the line there.
Yeah.
I don't think any of that has been arranged for choir, but pretty well every other genre that you can name has been arranged for people to sing together in harmony. And so when I'm looking at the different ensembles, they each have a little bit of a different flavor. So the Voices Rising youth choirs, we specifically made into a bit of an international thing. It's not that everybody only sings in languages that they don't speak, but we do a lot of that. Right now, Anita just finished struggling on Monday night to learn a song in Brazilian Portuguese.
And Spanish.
And Spanish. Yeah, so they're preparing a group of songs for the Christmas concert that are from Latin America. So they're Latin American Christmas songs. So we have a community partnership with Magma, for instance, to because it's such a natural fit. They're in the same building as the unofficial home of the Greater Moncton Chorale, which is Central United Church on Queen Street. And they've been extremely supportive of our youth choir program. They've sponsored a couple of our concerts, mounted a few events. And of course, Magma is the multicultural agency of the area. So we're very interested in taking what we already do, which is focus on music from around the world, and kind of shine a light on that. So that's the Voices Rising group. We also sing, stuff written by people in Nova Scotia or, from here. It's everything. And the Greater Moncton Chorale adult chorus, the traditional group, sings a huge variety of repertoire. So as an example of what we did last year, our Christmas concert was a pop jazz event with a 12-piece jazz band. We always hire musicians from the Tota Musica Orchestra program associated with Sistema New Brunswick. So we always have pros accompanying us. It's always live. We never sing with backing tracks. It's always live music because that's the ultimate experience, right? There's just nothing like it. It's creative and expressive in a way that you can't be when you have to follow a track around. So that was our Christmas concert. And then in the spring, we actually collaborated with the complete Tota Musica Orchestra of 30-plus musicians with a guest conductor, Cesar Suarez from St. John. And we did a program based on Mozart's life, which was a creative project that involved the director of Hub City Theater, J.B. Vanier. And he wrote an original story and brought in actors from his theater group, and they created this connecting thread for all the different music by Mozart that the youth choir and the adult choir presented. We sold out the Riverview Arts Center for one performance, and we also presented a performance in Memram Cook in the big church there, and had, it was close to 1,000 people that attended these two events. It was so much fun. We'll be doing another big event probably in the spring with orchestra. And we do everything else. Every program has a different focus. And then there's the hospital group, which, as I mentioned, is a pop chorus. There we just focus on familiar stuff. So it's across the decades, but we'll sing, some Beatles and some Coldplay and some, everything in between. Arranged for choir. So it doesn't sound like somebody strumming a guitar. We bring in a band for doing a big concert, and it's pretty exciting.
With your connection with the hospital, how did that all begin? Was it the Friends of the Moncton Hospital coming to you and saying, we think this would be a fabulous idea because their staff are overworked and they need an outlet? Right?
Exactly. It was actually a specific person who called me, Dr. Lisa Searle. She's a family physician. And she studied at Dalhousie University, where they had a program called Music in Medicine. And it had this exact background. It was open to healthcare students and healthcare workers from all around Halifax. They had a band, they had an orchestra, they had a choir, so it was a pretty big program. I think it was run, I might be wrong, but I think it was run as an experiment originally, as a sort of social studies kind of thing. Anyway, she participated in the choir while she was studying, and she found it to be, yes, a regenerative kind of experience. And so she now works in Moncton and through the Moncton Hospital, and she felt that she'd like to see that kind of thing happen, especially post-COVID, because of what she saw with healthcare workers there. And she thought it'd be a great way for everyone, for the people who work with Horizon Health, to bond with each other. So she called me up and asked if I would like to form a choir, and the Friends Foundation was offering to sponsor. And yeah, we had, 40 people sign up right off the bat. And then we decided this fall that we should open it up to the community too, and not, because even though we're going to keep the core as, the healthcare workers, a lot of people who have interest in participating who maybe don't work for Horizon Health. So we've opened it up to the community, and those people pay a normal membership fee. They're not sponsored by the Friends Foundation. The healthcare workers are, though. So it's a wonderful mix. So far, we've had lovely interest from the community, and very strong membership from the Moncton Hospital.
I mean, that's pretty obvious in your wait list that you had within 6 days that there's...
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. But
where are these people? Where are all these singers hiding?
Yeah.
I think it's such an approachable kind of thing, right? Anyone really can come and sing and learn how to sing in a group. And I think,
That's right.
So many people have that desire and interest in singing and being able to do it with other people. Sometimes there's a lot of safety in that.
Yes, there is. It's a magic combo. So, and because we have different ensembles now that you can choose from, depending on the kind of music you prefer or the level of difficulty you want to embrace, there are a lot of people who join the adult chorus, the traditional ensemble, because they love to learn. And, it's not a strict learning environment. We have practice tracks and everything. You don't have to be able to read music, and there are no auditions. I have what we call a kitchen party before the first rehearsal, where I take the newbies into the kitchen of Century United Church, and they get to sing 10 seconds of Happy Birthday or Row, Row, Row Your Boat or something, just so I can hear where their voice is going to blend in the best. And we have 8 different sections of the choir. So I'll say, oh, you sound like an alto 1, and just shove them in there. But we have people who are professional musicians in these choirs, and also people who, don't know which way around to hold a piece of music, and say, I just have always enjoyed singing in the shower, and I want to meet some people who like singing. And it works. That we have everybody together, and there's no hierarchy or snobbery. It's a warm, welcoming ensemble. All of them are. All of them are.
I'm wondering, Anita, if you could tell us a little bit more what it feels like to be part of the group, what you enjoy about it.
So it will make me feel really belong with all the people that also like singing. And actually I have a little story to share. Is that in my school I have a classmate, she loves singing, and she will always take every opportunity to sing. And so I thought, well, when you are at home, she said she just practice singing on herself. I'm like, well, why don't you join us, Voices Rising Choir? It's a great opportunity. You can sing with other people that also like singing. And she says she felt really, really nice after joining here, seeing all the different people that likes to sing and different ways to sing and different types of music. She says she really appreciate me bringing her in, and that makes me feel really happy too. I brought more connections through music.
I love that. That is what I feel about your choir when I hear about it. I've seen people talking about it. It really is such a fantastic way to bring the community together and create a deeper feeling in the community.
Yes, and actually, if you wanted to delve a little deeper into the different stories of individuals in these choirs, there's such diversity, not just culturally, but politically and in terms of what people do for a living, and like I said, age groups and so on, that you'd be hard pressed to put all these people in a room and find that they had anything in common in some cases, right? And you think, wow, what, for instance, when do kids want to hang out with their parents? Like, really? When? Especially teens, right? Ever? And especially, or their grandparents, do something with them besides family dinner, But in the choir, you get 14-year-olds boys that I mentioned with their mother in the same group. You don't have to associate with each other. Of course, she sings yeah. We have a mom who's got a new baby. We always have a choir baby.
Oh yeah.
There's always been a choir baby in the Greater Moncton Chorale. We make them their own little name tag.
Cute.
Yeah. And she sits there, the baby's in a little pouch and squawks along. If we stop singing, the baby cries.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
So it keeps me on task.
Yes.
Stop jibber jabbering. Get to the next song.
So where would people come and see your shows? I assume you must have a show. You did say, of course, the one church here in town, but do you break up into smaller groups to do other performances?
Well, we try. We're getting a lot of invitations to perform in the community, and so far we don't break up into smaller groups. So the 122 voice ensemble does not travel. We perform at Central United Church, or in the spring we'll be in the Capitol Theater. Last year Riverview Arts Center. We go to the biggest venues we can get. And we do our thing there in a stationary way.
Absolutely.
The Music and Medicine Pop Chorus will be singing one song at the closing ceremonies of Ride Against Cancer this Sunday. We're going to sing Fight Song. We do it really, really well.
Yeah, I believe that.
They do, the Music and Medicine Choir also does concerts in the Moncton Hospital in the atrium, which are free and people can listen to them. The Voices Rising groups perform in the community. So, for instance, last year on New Year's Eve at the City of Moncton's Family Fun Fest, we had our teen group and our junior singers group performing on the outdoor stage there by the skating rink, which was super fun.
Yeah.
And we performed at a Wildcats hockey game at intermission. May I just add, they won that game by a lot.
By a lot.
You're welcome. There are inquiries all the time to perform in the community, but yes, I have to be careful which group I take there because the portability is becoming an issue that I have to address. I know that's the next step. It's how do I get a little performing group together that isn't, going to overrun the whole venue.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're talking about how full you are and how busy you are, but for those people who are hearing about this the first time and thinking, I have someone who I think should come and sing with the group, or I have an interest in trying to get on that wait list, how do people continue to follow you and find out more?
Well, there's several ways. One is our website. So that's Greater Moncton Chorale. With the spelling, I know it's a problem. CHORALE.ca. If you Google choirs in Moncton, we come up right at the top. It's not a problem to find us. So our website has lots of information and, of course, a contact form. So no problem. Reach out any time of year or two. We put you on our mailing list then, and you'll receive notification when it's time to sign up for the next thing. Also, we're on Facebook and Instagram, so Greater Moncton Chorale is our handle for those, and we post everything we're doing on there.
Amazing. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you
Anita,
for coming in.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you all for watching and listening. And remember that we will be back again with a new episode next week.